Hello and welcome back. Now in our 8th session we are going to start working on the main component, that is the hero section, where we are going to place our 3D model. So to begin with, I have launched Visual Studio Code and see this nav.jsx job is over. I will close this and now coming to app.jsx, our main application file. Here you can now see that we have already completed this nav bar part and we are now going to move into the hero. If I press Ctrl and if I click on this hero part, see this is going to open hero.jsx and this is the file in which we are now going to work. I will close all other files here. So only app.js and hero.jsx is open, and this hero.jsx where it is present is in your root folder. Inside your src folder you have components folder and inside that we have this hero.jsx. Let us start building our hero.jsx component. So we are going to start first by importing all the components that we need over here. So I will come to line 1. I will select this entire line in line 1. I will delete it and I will start the import, and in flower brackets I am first going to import motion, and this motion is going to come from where? This is going to come from in inverted comma, this is going to come from framer motion. So we are going to import it from framer motion, end it with semicolon. So this is the first import. This motion is used for some simple animation. Then the next thing is, I am next going to import, and in flower bracket the name of the import will be styles, and the styles from where I am going to import? From, and in inverted comma I will come to add two full stops and forward slash, coming to the main folder, coming out of src to the main folder. I have the styles file here. I am going to select this. So this is what we are using. Then I am going to next press import, and then I am now going to again add flower bracket, and here I am going to call this computerCanvas. And this computerCanvas, as soon as I select it, see it is getting imported from canvas folder. It is in the same folder. So in canvas we have another component called computer, and from this we are importing this. So if I save this, I will save this and I will come over here at the bottom and I am going to call npm run dev, and when I run the application, now I will click here to open this. So if you see here, we are now working on this hero section. So what I will now, like last time, what I will do is I will keep this browser on the right hand side, and on the left hand side I will just resize it and make this size smaller like this, so that we can see both. And the very first thing I will do is, instead of adding a division here, I will select this entire division, delete it, and in lower than sign I am going to now call the component section, and I will close the tag, and inside this tag we are going to type hero. So instead of using the div, I am using section here. So after this, now as usual for this section we are going to define it with the class name. So what are the class name that we are going to call here? The very first class I am going to call is relative. Then I want its width to be full, w full, and I will press space, h hyphen screen, and after this I am going to set its margin along the x axis to auto, mx auto, and now I will save this. So as soon as I save, immediately you can see you are seeing a wide area over here and you have the hero text at the top. Inside this section now, instead of this hero text, I will delete it and replace it with a div. Say I am going to add a div, and in this div I will press enter, and for this div I am going to define some classes. So the class name that I am going to use here, and this time I am going to use a code block. So I will remove this inverted comma, this open close flower bracket, and inside this I will press my tilde button. And when I click on this tilde button, I will add a dollar sign, and inside the flower bracket I will now call styles period, and I am going to call this padding x. And after this I will come out of the bracket now, and I am going to call absolute, and then press space. I will set the inset to be equal to 0, then space, then top I am going to add a margin of, in open close square brackets, 120 pixels, and then I will set max W, I will set it to 7XL, so that you have the maximum width. Then I am going to add MX auto, I will select MX auto, then space, flex, I am going to add flex, then I will add flex row, see here, and then next I am going to add items start, and finally gap 5. So I will again come to view and I will choose the option word wrap, so that I can see the 8th line in 2 lines like this. Okay, so we have added all these classes, and now I am going to save it. And we are currently building this section where you have this a small dot, a line is coming down, and we are going to put our name and a tagline here. So this part we are designing it. Now inside this div I am going to create one more div. Inside div I will add this div, and I will press enter, and in this div what I am going to define is, I am going to define this circle and the line. For this div first I will give a class name, and the class name that I am going to give it, I will add flex space, then flex column, okay, and then space, then justify center, I will use justify center, then items it will be center, and I am going to use margin top MT equal to 5. I am going to give a 5 pixel margin to the top. We are going to first create the dot. For that I am going to create another div, and this is a self closing div, means I will add forward slash and greater than sign to close this, and inside this div again I am going to call few class name, and the very first class I am going to set is, I will set its width to 5 units, then height I want it to be of 5 units, and after this I want this to be rounded full, I will use this option rounded full, and then I want to set its background color, that is BG. I am going to set this BG color, I will put a dash, and in square brackets I am going to define this color using hash. I am using this hexadecimal code of this pink color 915EFF, and I will close the square bracket. If I save this, immediately you are now seeing this dot appearing. Now coming back here, the next we are going to create the line, and for this I will add one more div. This is again a self closing div, and inside this div I am going to call the class name, and in this class name I am going to set its width to 1 unit. Then I am smaller devices, SM devices, I am going to set its height to 80, and in regular devices I will set it to 40, and then I am going to add a violet gradient. And now if I save this, you can see this line appearing here. The next part we are going to work is with the name. Here we are going to add our name. For that, I will come to the next line and I am going to declare one more div, and this div again I will close this div, and inside this div I am now going to add a h1 tag, and inside the h1 tag I am going to type hi, and after hi I will put a comma, I apostrophe m, I am, and after this for the name I can directly type the name Sudhindra, but instead of this, or I will use my short name Sudhi. Okay, and this Sudhi I am going to put it inside a span tag. I will add a span tag, and this Sudhi I will cut it from here and put it inside this span. And for this span I am going to add some classes. The class I am going to add is, I will take this class name, I am going to take the text and it sets its color in square bracket like before. I used the same color 915 EFF, the color I used for the lines on the top. See the same line, and I will close this square bracket. So, and if I save this, see you are seeing the name, but the name is appearing at the bottom. So, if I want this name to come next to it, I have to take this entire div. At this div, I will just cut this entire div. See, if I remove the extra lines by pressing delete, and if I move it and if I press enter, you can now see here this div. You have this div which defines the line, and I am going to come down and paste this div. And now if I save it, now you can see the name, instead of coming down, it is coming to the right. So there is an issue with this, so I will select this entire thing, delete it. See, I will again add this class again, press space, class name, and here inside this I am going to add the text equal to, in open bracket. See, I am going to select this entire color that is present over here. I will copy this and I will paste it here and save it. Oh, now see, this color has been applied, and only thing is I want it to be bold. So for this I will come in this h1 tag here, and I am going to add class name, and this time this class name is a code block, and all code blocks we are going to remove this inverted comma, and for code blocks we are going to start it with open close flower bracket, and inside that I will use the tilde key, and then I will add dollar, and then in open close flower bracket I will call styles dot, and you have a style called hero head text, and if I add this and save it, see now I have hello, I am Sudhi. And this hero dot head text, where we have defined is, in this if you come to styles.js, you have here hero head text, and we have given it font black, text white, text 80 pixels. So we have defined this hero head text over here, and this hero head text font is now, I will close this style.js, is being applied over here. And now I want a brief introduction of myself. So for this, I will come to next line below this H1. I am going to add a P tag, paragraph tag. I am going to say developer of 3D websites and contents for immersive experience. So I am going to write a brief explanation about myself and I will save this. So now you are seeing it down. Now only thing is, for this I have to style this. So in P I will come inside the P tag and I am going to call a class name, and again here the very first class I am going to add it using my code block. And how you add code block? Flower bracket, and inside I will add this tilde key, and I am going to put this dollar sign, and in flower bracket I will call styles, and in styles I have defined another hero. I will type another hero subtext. I will select this class. I am going to give text white color, white, and I also set it 100. And now if I save this, and here instead of adding this and, I will add this sign, and here I am going to add a line break br, and again this is a self closing tag, and if I close this, and finally the second line br tag I am going to call another class name, and the class I am going to use is sm block, and then I will add hidden, and after this I will save this. So I will add hidden, I will save this, and now when I am moving this and I am setting the size, the breaking happens only on desktop, but on mobile phones, see that br will be removed. See, it goes into the same line. And now our next job is, we want to put our 3D model over here, and the model that I am using here is a computer. So for that reason, here below this div I will come down and I am going to call the component computerCanvas. See, computerCanvas, and I am going to close the tag. See, we had imported it from canvas, and if I save this, you can now see that just the text computers coming from computerCanvas, and it is on the right side, but I doesn't want it to come on the right side, but I want this to come on the bottom. Now here I want this on the backdrop of my name below. So for this I will come here, and instead of putting this computerCanvas here, I will cut this, and below all the div and just above the section I will paste it and save it. And now you are not even seeing it because it is hidden in the back side. We are going to come to that later. And now the next thing we are going to work is on this computerCanvas.